It's been so long since I watched an Interne historian video, and that's mostly because I've caught up with all the good ones, but I've been putting this one off. But we got Too Fancy, Too Furious. This is the second video of the Fancy series, and this one's about wine. I think there'll be other stuff in it too. This video meets the criteria of legal fair use under those of YouTube guidelines. No citations or example media heresy constitutes infringement under Digital Millennium Copyright Act. This following is satire and journalistic in nature. All images, medium, and sources are from place of public record, and especially care has been taken to censor names, faces, and specific locations, records, and personal information of those featured to protect their privacy. Names of the individual mentioned in this video meet the criteria of public figures. Regardless, care has still taken to omit any relevant information.
Come here, little fella.
Oh wait, I missed that last one. Feel free to react to this video, but please wait 48 hours from initial upload date before re-uploading to YouTube. The following is not endorsement, invitation, or condonance of harassment towards an individual featured in this video. He's okay with me watching this.
Come here, little fella. I want to tell you a secret.
A secret, yeah?
I'm just like you.
Oh, sure.
We're both down.
Already a fantastic start to the video, chat. Already a fantastic chart. This is every single billionaire CEO right now.
On here in the dirt. Mine just happens to be imported. You are fighting in traffic, and I am fighting charges of trafficking. We're so similar. You're working a 9-to-5 job, and I am having to look at that. We're both going through it. So don't hate me. I'm not the problem. It's the wine snobs.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's the wine snobs. It's not the other wealthy. It's the one that are wealthy and snobby about the wine. I feel like wine snobs are coffee snobs on crack.
They're the ones that look down on you. And frankly, I don't blame them.
Wow, you look down on me? I don't even like wine.
No, he's learning. Listen, let me pull you up by your bootstraps. What if I made you my little Pygmalion? That's a reference that you wouldn't get.
You like my maid outfit? Hold on, let me show you it off. Bop, ba-da, 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 ba, ba, ba-da. It was for Valentine's Day. I love it. It turned out so cute, honestly. I'm so happy with how it turned out. It looks so great on my model.
You know what? Perhaps I shall make a series of videos that will give you some sort of clue about fancy things.
Oh.
Yes, that's what I'll do. Something to give you just
how's the little witchling?
Enough information to bluff your way through a fancy dinner.
Did you know that Da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa?
Somebody had...
Wait. Back up. Chat. What do rich people talk about? Like, I mean it. What do the rich people talk about in dinner conversation? Because they ain't talking about cool anime and video games. What do rich people talk about? Have they shot a lion? Like, what?
Had to hold open the gates for the barbarians? Why not me? So let's do it. Let's look at... wine.
Why?
The Mountain Dew of upper society.
God, imagine green wine. Ugh, money. Oh yes, hello. Oh yes, my friend. Oh, did you see the steak? It was $1,000 and blood. It's a human steak. It was made from young babies. Don't you know? Oh yeah, yes. I have so much money. I can afford only the finest of child steaks. Only the finest, imported from Italy. Is that what rich people talk about?
With wine, there is only one rule. Kill or be killed.
So much wine drama.
And if you want to survive the night, here are 6 things you should know about wine.
Okay, 6 things we should know about wine.
To you muggles, the words on these bottles must seem like a mystery.
Pie not no eye.
Pie not no wine.
But us landlords, we, the pink Himalayan salt of the earth, we know what they mean. They are grape names. Look upon
Grape. Do you know good wine is squished with your people's feet? Good wine has feet juices in it. It's just like wine snobs are basically just like people who like feet. It's the same ballpark. They just drink the feet.
on this grapevine. It makes grape berries. Now, there are many different species
Have you ever tried wine grapes? They don't taste good.
of grape berry. And whatever the berry species is will determine the type of wine. This is Chardonnay, so it will make Chardonnay.
I feel like this is wrong. Does anybody fact check it? Can anybody fact check that? I feel like that's not how it works. I feel like he's yanking our chain, but I know nothing about wine, so I am very gullible and believable, and I will believe anything he says about wine.
Merlot grapes, they make Merlot.
Technically, it's a little more complicated than that because many wines are blends, i.e. made from other types of grapes, but it's 99% true. That's what it says at the bottom. I don't know how much I trust him.
Wine. Grape names are mostly French. Gross. But for example, in English, Pinot Noir means black pine.
I mean, obviously Pinot Noir means black pine. Like, who didn't know that, chat? Raise your hand. Who didn't know Pinot Noir meant black pine?
Kinda looks like a black pine cone, if you squint. Here's some of the other names.
Pinot Grigio, gray pine. Sauvignon Blanc, wild white. Cabernet Sauvignon, wild Cabernet. The Cabernet means something like black grapevine. A Merlot essentially means little blackbird.
You can pause it. I'm busy.
Shiraz, also Shira, sort of, it's complicated, named after a city in present-day Iran. Chardonnay, named after a village called Chardonnay from Latin. Chardius, meaning wild thistle or artichoke. I love that, artichoke.
Wine grapes are not like the kind you get at the supermarket. Those are table grapes.
Yeah, wine grapes are gross. Like, if you've ever had, like, a fresh wine grape, it's not yummy. It's not good. I've had it before. It is disgusting. Table grapes are so much better. Also, what is this picture that I paused on? This is inappropriate, chat. Don't look, chat.
You can think of it kind of like the difference between cooking chocolate and regular chocolate. You can eat them.
Yeah.
But they're overly sugary and kind of full of seeds and just not as nice to snack on. So the grape type is the main word on the bottle. But sometimes there are other words as well.
Other words.
For example, this Bourgogne.
French
I
word for
swooped down on a
Burgundy.
vineyard once. The vintner shot at me.
Don't be going and swooping down on vineyards.
What the hell is a chablis? It's all regions. Allow me to explain.
Why is wine so snobby? Oh yes, we name our wines after cities. We name our wines after the grapes we use, but not just that. We name our wines after the areas that the wine has grown. So the sunshine, you can taste the sunshine of those areas because the sunshine in New Mexico is better than the sunshine in Old Mexico.
Through the medium of song.
He's gonna sing for us, chat?
There's Chianti and Piedmont, also there's Burgundy. Don't forget Chablis Bordeaux. This one's from Italy, this one's from Italy, this one's from France, this one's from France, this one's from France, this one's from France. They're all from France. We're Italy. Look, the general rule is, if you see a term you don't understand, it's probably just the French or the Italians being all la-dee-da about their particular region. All right, let's move on to price. Come on, I know a place. We're here. I can tell by the name on the sign. Now, don't
Oh my god, he's going to the shittiest liquor store.
embarrass me, I didn't bring my ID. Fiddle-tee-dee, look at all...
Fiddle-dee-dee.
these bottles. So many options. Ooh, a cheeky $200 bottle. And here, oh, a $20 bottle. Now, I bet this $200 bottle tastes way better, right?
No.
Like it's got to be 10 times better than this one.
No. It all tastes the same shitty thing.
That's just basic math. Go on, though. You choose one. Oh, no. Well, it was supposed to be a trick question, but they both taste pretty similar, right? There's not some threshold that you get to where it gets more expensive, and then it tastes better, and then more expensive again, and it tastes even better, until it gets so expensive and so incredible that it's like nothing you've ever had before. Break through the conditioning.
You know, wine would be a lot better if it had sugar in it. I'm just saying. Just saying.
This is just old grape juice. Now, if you're a little bi-curious about a more expensive bottle, sure, why not?
Gold letters grace the label, hand engraved by goldsmiths. Famed wine critics described the taste as mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling? Nothing tastes mind-boggling. What?
But realistically, after about $60, the flavor doesn't get much better.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Like, you know, like $1 wine's gonna taste pretty shitty and cheap tasting. But it's like with food, you know what I mean? Like a pizza that costs over a certain price, eventually the more expensive pizza, they make it more expensive by putting on expensive items like gold flakes and caviar. And gold flakes and caviar does not taste good on a pizza. Drugs taste mind-boggling. I mean, you ain't wrong there, okay? Okay, I'll let you have that. Drugs are mind-boggling.
In fact, it plateaus out and it can even go down. The best quality
Source I made up. Also, do more expensive wines taste better? Evidence from large sample of blind wine taste, American Associated. He actually is citing references. References. Look at this. This video is well thought out.
to price ratio is all the way over here, much lower, about $20. That's how much you should spend on a bottle of wine. Now, some people will say
that I'm putting my heart and soul into this thing. I'm making a form of art. How much is that worth? How much is art worth?
about $20.
I'm putting art into my wine jar. I'm putting ink and pens and papers into it. How much do you think it's worth?
Ah, but what about the vintage?
The dog. How much is a VTuber sub worth? About $20. If you want the good one.
Whoa, look at this. A couple of cromulent slender necks. And they're the same price as well. But this one is
Sexy.
from 2019, and this one is from 2022. Well, surely the older one is the better one, right?
No.
No. Many people think that the wine aging goes like this, and the flavor just keeps
doesn't.
getting better over time. Wrong, wrong, wrong! The wine at the store has already been aged at the winery. I don't need to be more aged by sitting on this shelf.
That's true. If sitting on the shelf does nothing, it's already been packaged. So if it's the same brand, it's been aged the amount of time that it needs to be aged.
Just collecting dust. Or spending years at the back of your pantry at home. If I'm for sale, I'm ready to be consumed. I'm ready to have your hot lips wrapped around.
Oh, wow.
In fact, the general rule goes a corked bottle should be drunk within 5 years and a capped bottle within 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Come, there's more.
Imagine people just letting their wine sit in a cellar for so long because they think they're aging it, but they're really just making it go bad.
Let's pretend I am a waiter at a restaurant. You happen to be wearing a shirt, and so I have mistaken you as a paying customer. As a waiter,
Oh, wow, sorry.
the first thing I will press you about will be food pairings. White wine with fish? A Merlot with pork? Well, kid, I'm gonna have to pair this truth nugget with something you don't wanna hear.
Facts and logic? No, not the facts facts and logic with my truth nugget.
Yeah. The food pairing doesn't really matter. It's all completely subjective.
It really is. Like, sometimes I'll tell people that I'm drinking or consuming something with something, and they're like, that's so gross. I'm like, I don't know. It's two separate things. I'm eating at the same time. It's not a big deal.
It's cuisine by...
There are some general guidelines that can be useful. There are so many exceptions, and it's all subject to with, yeah, this, but no, not that. But sometimes actually, yes, this, but it depends on that. Consistencies, that there's no meaning distinction between a study expert's a blind guesser. My grandma did that. I have wine from 1997 that probably turned to vinegar. Well, now you can use it for baking because you can use wine in like cooking and stuff like that, Adam. So you can use the bad wine for making like yummy wine pasta.
By horoscope. It's food astrology. Pay no attention to the sommeliers in the comment section. They are bullshitting to upsell.
Get the more expensive one. It goes better with the spaghetti.
Or they are a Pisces and you shouldn't trust their opinion anyway.
Excuse me? I am a Pisces? I am a Pisces? Are you saying you can't trust my opinion on anything? Probably. Probably.
Anyway, something else to expect at a restaurant? Expect to get ripped off by the markup. Most restaurants have a 250 to 300% markup
It's the worst. You
up on their wine. And the cheaper the bottle, the higher the proportional markup tends to be. So a $20 bottle will turn into an $80 bottle, but a $100 bottle may only rise to $150. Most people get the second cheapest bottle on the menu, regardless of the pairing, and that'll do just fine. And that's it. No more tips. Unless you want to leave me one.
The tip is, don't get wine at a restaurant. It's not worth it. Just drink the water. Never get the beverages at a restaurant. They're trying to rip you off.
Oh? Actually, you know what? I got a fucking tip for you, mate. Ad time.
No. Ads.
I bet you're wondering how I got this cog in my knee.
That is dad joke level.
That's because I became the face of Incogni, the service that helps you be forgotten on the internet. I used to be a humble florist. One day we received a shipment of forget-me-nots. But inexplicably I fell in and ate a bunch of them.
And so he forgot.
I forgot everything that day. My address, my web browsing habits, where I worked.
Imagine getting amnesia. Sometimes I'm like, can I fake amnesia?
What my child's face looked like. I was supposed to pick him up from daycare, so that was kind of embarrassing. I just picked one of the kids that kind of looks like me.
Oui, monsieur.
Close enough. Have you ever signed up for some dodgy website? Have you ever dodged up for a legitimate website and they sell all your details onto a dodgy website? That's
The whole internet's dodgy. If you want to stay safe, stay away from the whole entire internet.
where I come in. Incogni man and Anonyboy. There are data miners out there, data collectors, creating big servers all around the world. They take your name, your address, and your IP, and together they
They just sell you ads, and then they put ads about stuff that you don't even want to buy.
make a big profile, and that lives forever. I am here to send them annoying legal notices to tell them to fuck off. Take Steve off your database. European law this, American law that. Go to incogni.com/internethistorian to get...
Do you think this is also a ripoff like Honey? Because now, like, after the Honey scandal, I'm like, is everything a ripoff like Honey? Probably.
60% off an annual plan. The cog signal. I swoop into the data centers. Legal notice. Tangle up their processes with admin. Who are you? I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Inganokni Nam. Go to incogni.com/internethistorian.
Oh my god.
Incogni man. Remember me? Yes. No. Who's the kid?
monsieur, s'il vous plaît.
Whoa, that's a good deal. Welcome to the wine underground.
See, this is where the wine ferments. So as long as the wine is still in the barrel, it's still fermenting. Honestly, if I ever get sponsorships for videos and stuff like that, I want to make the stupidest ads ever. Like, I don't want to just be like, hi, have you heard about this amazing product? Insert product name. You should buy this insert product name because insert product name has saved my life. I don't want to do those kind of stupid ads that I see. I want to do funny, stupid ads about how you need this product. Otherwise, your children would die. If you don't have children, then your future children will die.
We have our meetings here because it stays at a very pleasant temperature.
Ooh. Is it next to the cheese caves? Like we got the cheese caves and we got the wine caves.
Us wine masons, we control everything. We are few, but many. That doesn't make sense. Look at the back of this bottle. See the...
It's gluten-free, vegan, sustainably wine-grown, and pregnant women should not be consuming it.
No Fat Chicks logo? We put that there. It is the symbol of our organization.
No Fat Chicks.
We have a dirty finger in every glass of government and corporation stuff. If you cross us, oops, perhaps you'll have a little accident. Last year, Little Upstart tried to make wine actually taste good. You know, like how grape soda does.
But why can't we have wine that tastes good? Grape soda's great. Grape soda is fantastic. When the first time I tried wine, I was so disappointed. I tried a red wine, and all it did is taste like blood to me.
Cut him up so good he had to get stitches. We caught one reporter trying to dig around into our operation. We all know how that one ended. With an airstrike. All right, my little juice box.
The airstrike!
I'm going to let you in on a secret. Why is champagne called champagne?
That's a good question. Also, champagne tastes so much better than wine.
Well, I'll tell you. It all began in 1668. In the Abbey of St. Peter in northeast France, there's something spooky going on. It's springtime, and in the cellar where they keep all the wine, bottles would suddenly...
Fancy people don't like sweet things? I don't know about that, Mar. Because, they eat lots of cakes, and they eat treats and stuff like that. I do think they like it. I think it's just some weird notion that somebody decided wine was fancy because it was old, and it was limited, and it was elite, so they made it, but they like sweet stuff. They do. Why drink wine when you could drink sparkling grape juice? That's what I'm saying, Gerzounds. That's what I'm saying.
Unexpectedly, explode. Now this was especially common during morning mass. That's a bad omen.
It's the devil. The devil is exploding our wine.
Sometimes the explosions would cause little chain reactions, and bottle after bottle.
Parish were often in charge of producing and storing alcohol for the village, sometimes for ceremonial purpose, e.g. the heuristics, but also just as a community thing as a means of controlling the supplies of alcohol. Church always tries to control everything, doesn't it?
Would break down the line, ruining the majority of the crop. The peasants were frightened and also parched.
They need their wine to make it through the winter. Because, back then, chat, what did you do? In the 1600s, there was nothing to do. You threw a rock at your buddy in the face. You drank wine. You, ate moldy pizza. You didn't know what to do. You had nothing fun. You had a hoop and a stick.
Sacre Bleu, lay wine. What is happening?
Lay wine.
The monks would refer to this as the devil's wine.
Lay wine is cursed.
Le God, he must be anger at us. We need a hero.
In walks Dom Perignon. He is just the man.
Dom is in Hornifex. His actual name was Pierre Perignon. So Dom was his status. He was Dom, but he was Pierre Perignon.
And for the job. A Benedictine monk at the abbey. He's got a new role, the cellar master. And it's his mission to find out what the hell is going on here. So Dom starts looking at all the bottles. And what he figures out pretty quickly is that the wine itself is releasing gas.
Yeah, wine does. Fermented foods naturally can become bubbly over time because, it's fermenting and it creates buildup of gases. That's why kombucha is bubbly, because kombucha is fermented and then the kombucha becomes bubbly.
The gas builds up pressure and... Pop! Why that is happening, he doesn't know. But it's his job to stop
We all a little gassy. We need to be burped.
it. So he gets to work, trying all sorts of things to stop his mortal enemy. The bubbles.
What did the bubbles ever do to you? I mean, they did destroy wine, but it was, the bubbles are just little buddies. I just want a bubble. That's the wine farting, because it's so gassy.
In the first year, he tried insisting that only the youngest grapes be picked.
Perhaps this will stop your bubbles.
And it didn't. The next year, he changed up how the grapes were pressed.
Push harder, we'll squeeze out the bubbles.
Gotta squeeze out that gassiness.
Son of a bitch. He tried picking the grapes very early in the morning and no other time. Nope. And on and on. The bubbles would win the battle every year. For 8 long years, he tried all sorts of different things. And
This is why I can't carbonate stuff at home. I'm terrified of the carbonators.
no strategy worked. No, the bubbles. Eventually, he was at the point of almost giving up. Until one day, hey, what if the wine is still fermenting? So he takes a couple of the bottles and he opens them and, it is. We ferment the wine. Once it's done, it goes into the bottle. How does it then start fermenting again?
That's a good question. Why is it still fermenting?
How is that possible? And here the mystery was solved. So it turns out, in North France, they have very fast-changing seasons. And owing to that, the yeast doesn't actually get time to do its job. Instead, it would get cold very quickly in the winter, and all the yeast would go dormant. Then the winemakers would go, oh, brilliant, fermentation slowed down, it must be done. They would then bottle it, and they would store it. But once summer came back around, the
Oh no, the yeast would activate again and be like, hi, I'm still here. I want to ferment.
process would spring back to life, and carbon dioxide would build up and...
Poop.
Okay, he thinks, I cannot change the climate. Perhaps I shall not win the war against the bubbles. Now, the bubbles are his enemy, and he has another enemy. The English. Therefore, the enemy of his enemy or something. Anyway, he starts talking to the English, and he goes, hey, how do you guys stop your bottles from exploding? And the British go,
You what, mate? Cool. We'll peep at how thin the bloody glass be in it. Thin glass is the problem.
Oh, yeah. Your weak-ass little glass can't hold in any of those bubbles. You need a strong-ass glass. You need that thick boy glass.
Thank you for using this test as speech preview. For a paid version, please go...
See, the English have created new coal-fired bottles with much thicker glass. Then they put a cork in the top.
The growth of England's population and industry led King James I to be concerned that the forest would be over-harvested and stripped bare. Valid. That was a special problem at the time because it would mean not enough timber for Navy to make ships. So he passed a law heavily restricting deforestation. Hey, that's actually pretty good. Like, that's good. We have trees today because of that, honestly. The English then, out of necessity, shifted to using coal for its manufacturing process, which burnt a lot hotter than wood. Ideally for glass making, this new technique meant they could make better and sturdier glass bottles. Hey, the deforestation prevention actually made us have better glass. That's pretty cool. See, sometimes you gotta stand up for the little guy, aka the trees. It's me, Camellia. I speak for the trees. Don't cut them down.
Top, and it allows them to make very foamy beer. That's right, he could just use thicker bottles and he won't have to worry about stopping the bubbles at all. So Dom goes
down my homes.
Exactly.
running back to France. He's panting, he's sweating, and there's bits of brie on his shirt. He's going, better bottles, better bottles. Everyone's confused and terrified, but they give it a shot. And there it was. The people of France loved it.
I love this new style.
Even the French royals were enjoying.
But now they get to have bubbly wine.
New wine, TM. He even started adding extra yeast and sugar to really get the bubbles going. And so Dom Perignon had created what we call today champagne.
It was bubbly and sweet wine. That's why it's better than wine.
Now, there's a 19th century marketing campaign that says the moment he uncorked his champagne for the first time, he tried it and said, come quickly, I am tasting the stars. But that's actually a myth. He never really said that. But there's still a problem. And this one, Dom cannot fix. The pulp. If you bottle wine while it's still fermenting, so that you can keep the bubbles in, you're also trapping in a bunch of dead yeast and debris and gross particles too.
That makes sense.
Also, it's all cloudy. No, we want it clear. We want it
crystal clear. We want it beautiful. You can gaze into the stars in it.
Crystal looking. How will we ever solve this problem?
There just keeps on being more and more problems. The past was just filled with problems. I'm escaping. I'm not letting you. You're not winning. No.
Dom dies.
Chat, he died before he was able to find out how to clean out the pulp. He died before the pulp got to be cleaned out. He died with pulp in his beverage. That's so sad. Imagine having your life mission to just do something, and then it just gets taken away from death.
1805. In walks Madame Clicquot. She's just the man for the job.
I'm also French. I have come to remove all the little beets. I will clench my teeth together and go pitu back into the bottle.
No! She's gonna drink it and throw it back up. No.
Madame Clicquot was a very shrewd lady. Her husband died when she was in her early 20s.
My husband is dead. Lol.
And part of the estate she was bequeathed
Oh, this is such a pretty house.
included a winery.
Chat, should we make Camellia wine? It's just regurgitated wine that I consumed. Would it make millions?
She immediately got to work, making it into a successful business.
I shall invent a process called lay riddling.
Here's what you do, right? You put these bottles on a rack at a 35-degree angle with the top facing down. Every 2 days, she would give the bottle a little shake and slightly increase the angle.
No! SpongeBob, why are you licking me? No, wow. You guys wouldn't consume my regurgitated wine. I see how it is. I know. Sometimes people get good impressions of me. I say something smart, like when I was talking about the differences between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. And then some people get to see licking SpongeBob while I talk about regurgitated wine. Welcome in, Kian.
After 8 to 10 weeks, all of the sediment would come to rest in the neck of the bottle. Right, quick tangent. Did you know that when you increase the salt concentration in water, you can drop its temperature down much lower without it freezing?
I did not know that. Did you know this, chat? Did you know this? Because I didn't know this. Apparently, if you make salt water, it takes longer to freeze. How did you know this? Where did you learn this? Did my schools fail me? How did you know this? Why does it do that? Why does salt make water freeze slower? Why did you Google it? Why did you Google it? Chemistry. I mean, I guess that's why they put salt in ice cream, so that it doesn't freeze all crystally. Ocean and seas. Wow, Kana. I mean, you're not wrong there. I mean, oceans and seas, they do freeze differently. I just never thought about it.
Tangent over. So she takes this sub-zero salt water and dips the neck of the bottle in there. Then lets it sit until the neck freezes. Now you have a sort of frozen cork filled with all of the gross pulp. And then you simply pop off the top. And the whole thing goes shooting out as a fun prank for your friends and family. Then they add in a little more extra base wine and sugar and leave it to age. And with that, Clicquot has just created a clear, sparkling wine.
That's so smart. I wonder how they do it nowadays. Like, do they just filter it normally? Like, I wonder how they do it comparatively. Now we need to watch a Hugsby's How's It Get Made Chardonnay. Not Chardonnay. Champagne.
And that is Ridley. And Madame Clicquot is...
The Riddler!
So Dom Perignon and Madame Clicquot are both credited as the godfather and godmother of champagne.
Aww.
Today, the Dom and Clique brands are owned by LVMH, the same parent company that owns Louis Vuitton, Tag Heuer, Tiffany & Co.
God, there's the bougie wealthy people.
Hennessy. Actually, pretty much every luxury brand.
It's all a lie.
But why is it called champagne?
That's because of the area, right?
Well, that's because it comes from the Champagne region, you dummy. And anything else with bubbles?
Sparkling wine is the higher order term. So champagne is a type of sparkling wine. There are many other different types of sparkling wine. Prosecco probably being most notable, although its production process is different, as instead of being fermented in the bottle, the wine is fermented in high pressure resistant metal casks. Madame Clicquot also arguably invented the rosé. Also, many of these first champagnes were made using red wine grapes. Now they use white wine for champagne.
Is just sparkling wine.
End of part.
Oh, it's you.
Hi.
I was just looking out over the sunset. You know how it is. Thinking about stuff that happened in the past.
And things.
I remember it all too well. It was literally 1984.
84?
I was walking home with my parents from the opera.
Come on, keep up. We're nearly there.
Batman?
Hey, let's take a little shortcut, they said.
We can cut through here.
We were walking down a well-lit alleyway. It was nothing but quaint restaurants and bistros. Then suddenly, a man holding a bottle of Shiraz came out of nowhere.
Shiraz?
Just a tipple, he said. I was terrified. I knew nothing about wine. Go on, he
You're making us drink the wine. I don't like
said.
this.
My hands were shaking, knees weak, arms heavy. Complex aroma, wouldn't you say? Very good tannins. Oh, really?
Nice full body.
Yep. What's a tannin?
Oh.
I don't know. My parents died from embarrassment right there on the spot.
Mommy! I'm sorry, Daddy.
It's because he didn't know what a tannin is. I don't know what a tannin is either, to be honest.
Just a tipple. It's too late for me, but I don't want the same thing to happen to you. That's why we have to learn about how to serve wine. So you've bought a bottle of wine to show your friends and family how...
Yes, I have. I will never, but I have. Hypothetically, in this story, I have bought a bottle of wine to show my friends and family.
successful and sophisticated you are. Did you know that Da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa? So let's go through how to serve the big three. White, red, and champagne. Let's say you've bought champagne. That bottle
Ouch.
goes in the fridge. Champagne is served cold
We like a nice, cold, refreshing champagne.
always. To open, peel off the foil and do not aim it at your face.
Oh, ooh,
Then
ooh.
twist off the metal thing. If you want people to think you're fancy, use the proper word, muselette.
Oh, it's a muselette. The muselette, chat. You do good. You gotta twist off the muselette. Because we fancy here. We lift our pinkies up as we drink our champagne.
Muselet.
It helps to contain the pressure. Again, don't aim this thing at your face. It's really worth repeating. The PSI inside a champagne bottle is 70 to 90. That puts it in the same league as a nail gun. So the cork comes out at about 50 miles an hour. And if you're in a house, you want to hold onto it very firmly with your hand. If you're Bezos, or you just won the Grand Prix, fling it over some ladies. But if you want to be
That was a sad execution.
really fancy, you can use a sword.
Ooh.
This has been a tradition for a couple hundred years, popularized by Napoleon. After each victory, the army would use their sabers to crack one open for the boys. But the sword's just ceremonial. You can use pretty much any blunt object to knock off the top. A phone, a shoe.
Why would you use the phone?
This fish head. If it's cold, it shouldn't fizz over too much, but you might want to have someone on the side with a ready glass. The glass type should either be a tulip or a flute.
Oh my god, what if I drank champagne in a mason jar? Will I get arrested by the wine people? Will they come and break down my door and arrest me for not using a tulip or a flute? He broke his phone. He 100% broke his phone.
Although, if you've seen The Great Gatsby, you may notice that they use these. Up until the mid-1900s, people used coupes. That's because, back in the day, excessive effervescence wasn't very cool. So these cups helped actually dispel the bubbles faster.
Well, we like the bubbles. Interesting.
In fact, sometimes they'd even use a small whisk or a fork to dissipate all the bubbles.
We're like, we don't want sexy bubbles. We're gonna pop them.
Now, there's actually an old myth that the shape and size of the coupe was molded from one of Marie Antoinette's boobos.
A booba coupe?
But it's probably not true. Eventually, bubbles became a fancy feature, so the flute was adopted. They can be made from glass, but preferably they're made from crystal, so that they...
Crystal is a special type of glass made with added minerals baked in. Traditionally, the added was lead oxide. The additives give the glass more strength, allowing them to be made thinner than regular glass. It also makes them slightly porous, giving extra sparkle.
shimmer as much as possible. And the best flutes would also feature a small rough spot right there at the center of the glass at the bottom.
Oh.
To create a sort of tornado of bubbles.
Oh.
Anyway,
that's kind of cool. It's really interesting how people spend their whole entire life trying to figure out how to make bubbles more fancy.
As you pour, tilt sideways so it isn't all head, and don't pour more than 2/3 full.
But what if I want a full glass? I like my glass overflowing.
Done. White wine. White wine is best served chilled too. 10 to 15 degrees though, not fridge cold. Use a small glass bowl and pour to about half full. And when you drink, do a little sniff test and, aerate it a bit.
Beer glass have rough pits for a similar reason. Interesting. I wonder who came up with that. Like, how did they figure it out? What were they trying to do? Was it an accident?
Then hold it down low on the stem so your hands don't heat up the liquid. If it's not to your taste, cut it with 50% Sprite and add a few ice cubes.
Wait, is he telling us to put Sprite in our white wine? I mean, that sounds delicious.
Done. Reds.
Reds taste like blood to me. They taste very irony, very thick. I don't like any wine, but red wine particularly. Ugh.
Red wine is not chilled. It is served at room temperature.
Strictly speaking, it's cellar temperature, so it's more like 16 to 18 C. But that's a bit nitpicky. Also, even more strictly speaking, there are distinctions by type of red wine, i.e. Pinot Noir is served at 13 C, but almost nobody bothers being this precise.
When you first open it, you're supposed to let it sit for a while to oxidize. That gives it more flavor.
But do we want more flavor though?
Although, if you don't want to wait, you can just pour it into a decanter. That does the same thing.
A decanter? Wait, I missed the thing that said what it was. I've never heard what a decanter is. A decanter oxidizes wine, but technically its main purpose is to decant red wine, especially the aged stuff, has solids that either haven't been filtered out or have dissolved into the liquid. Over time, these participants out, you get a bunch of grit at the bottom of the bottle. Decanter lets you pour the wine out easily so the grit doesn't make it into your cup. What? Red wine can get gritty.
Does the same thing. To drink from, we want a big bowl on a stick. So you get a full face of the aromas of the great blood.
I'm gonna say, it tastes like blood to me.
When you pour the thing, fill it about 1/3 full. That's pretty much it. However, when it comes to wine snobbery, red wine snobbery is at the top of the Maslow hierarchy.
Yeah, people are really snobby about the red wine.
Crushed white rock. It's like almost like a rock quarry.
Oh my god, shut up. And there's a taste testing thing that people do, and it'll go a
Also, isn't it weird that majority of snobby wine testers are like middle-aged white dudes? This is weird.
bit mental, and it's kind of gross, and it looks dumb. But if you think you're ready for the ultimate test, ready to take the one-chip challenge of
The one-chip challenge.
enology, then here's how you do it. When the waiter comes over, insist on taking a teensy sample. Inspect for color, clarity, and legs.
Legs? What? How does one spot wine legs?
Legs refers to how viscous the wine is.
Oh.
Smell it.
Do we want a more viscous wine? Do we want the wine to be... Do we want the wine viscously?
Smells like a red wine. Swirl it around on the table, making a loud scratching noise so that everyone knows you're a connoisseur.
Swirling the wine glass is almost like turning up the volume on the stereo.
When you taste it, you're supposed to get it over every part of your mouth. So that when you brush your teeth later, it's awful. Then take in big sips of air.
Why?
This is where you comment on the texture and taste.
Texture? You won't become one when you become rich. I won't be. Why do you think I'll become witch whispers? But also, I don't like wine. I'm not a drinker.
Complex notes. You yell across the room. Now this is the best part. You can just make shit up about vanilla smatterings or citrusy undercurrents. I swear, there's a hint of blueberry. It's one of those things that's...
Wines do vary a lot in flavor and have many different subtle tastes that people are able to pick out. These are reactive aromatic components brought about through the sugar content of wines, grapes, type of grapes, soil, climate, acidity, method of fermentation, as well as a secondary fermentation process called malolactic fermentation, which shapes textures of wine. To boot, woody components that leach into the mix too, i.e. from aging in an oak barrel, there are no artificial flavors added, e.g. if there are chocolatey notes, that's owing to there being reactive components in the wine mixture appearing their original organically. Wine through its production is able to bring out traces of these, but just a hint of them, not really a real flavor as such. It's like with coffee. You guys ever have coffee that tastes like kind of chocolatey, or coffee that tastes like fruity, or like blueberry, or like coffee that tastes citrusy? Like, it's because of the different coffee beans and stuff.
Kinda true, but subjective enough that no one can really refute you. So make a big show of it.
There is a little bit of an earthiness, almost a graphite clay note to this.
It's a little bit meaty. It's a little bit sort of rustic.
There are definitely hints here of Monster Ultra sugar-free. If this is a taste test and you're sampling dozens of wines, you want to spit out the sample into the...
If you're testing 100 bottles across the afternoon, that makes a lot of sense. Also, they often have crackers to chew or coffee beans to sniff as a sort of palate cleanse. Sometimes there's also a separate dump bucket, which is used for emptying the rest of the glass rather than spitting.
This gross bucket, so you don't get too drunk. Do not ask the waiter if you can drink from the bucket. It's the waiter's privilege, and he's very...
It just gets thrown out, except at the very large gathering, like a festival where they might be hundreds of buckets, people are starting to collect it and really still it into liquors. Gross. It's cooked so the germs can't survive, but still gross. Gross. Regurgitated. Wait, chat, do you guys want to buy my regurgitated wine? But like, it's my wine bucket. So it's just a bucket filled with Cami's regurgitated wine. Don't worry, I will boil it for safety.
very protective of it. And that is how to serve wine. Okay, that's a lot of shitting on wine people.
And we shouldn't get bullied.
Wine drinkers against bullying. Oh my god.
But let me do a quick 180. Because overall, wine is good. And a little wine...
I I promise to brush my teeth first, yes, so there won't be weird food particles.
And snobbery can be good also. Being into wine is one of the great dad hobbies.
Moms are invited too.
One day you will have a model train set in your basement, complete with a little walking path and the grass just right.
That actually is kind of low-key cute.
The best part about this hobby is building the thing.
This looks really fun though. Am I a weirdo?
Getting it just perfect, and then making people sit there while you explain the little trains in excruciating detail of how they work. Now the fun of Warhammer, that's when you save up for the little space marine man.
Look at the little space marine man.
You take him out of the packet. You put on a podcast with some Warhammer in the background.
Of all the Primarchs, Horus is the best kisser.
And
Horus is the best kisser.
you slowly paint it yourself. And then you
I'm just gonna paint it pink.
argue with your mates later about why the necrophiles are the best race.
I don't know about them necrophiles. I don't know.
There are people that spend like tens of...
The fancy coffee videos look so good. Oh, I might. It's called autism. I mean, you're not wrong. I might still need a cup of coffee because I feel like I just want a coffee for the taste, chat.
thousands of dollars on coffee machines and equipment.
Look at the.
And it takes
look
like
at
an
the-
hour to make a coffee. And it's like
Look at
only
it.
5% better, maybe, than
But
the ones you
look
get at the
at it.
cafe.
It's true, but like I make really shitty coffee at home. So if it's 5% better than the coffee at coffee shops, then it's 100 times better than the coffee I make at home. So it's a win-win.
Now, I could be Mr. Killjoy and come in and go, what's the point of that? Why not just buy it from the cafe? Why
I
not
do.
just
It's expensive.
get a pre-painted Space Marine? Why not have someone else just install the train set? But then there's no ceremony, there's no fun, there's no hobby. Wine is very similar. They're getting a little bit too obsessive about the thing and being like,
Some lemon zest as well, lemon pith. Super tangy.
is the purpose of wine. It's the fun of wine.
Yeah, this is why, regardless of how snobby and elite wine tasting is, I think like it's part of the fun to be super obsessed with something.
Which is why wine is better than just some old grape juice.
That's not true. Grape juice is delicious. Don't be bashing grape juice.
And you fucking wine loser snobs, you know what? You're all right.
I think my only issue with like the wine snobs is usually it's associated.
Cami is keeping us in her basement.
No. Shh. The only issue with I find with wine snobs is a lot of times it's elitism and it's a little bit of classist. Like these really wealthy people will like spend money on wine that really doesn't taste that much different than a $20 bottle and then think that they're better or cooler because they can afford a $1,000 bottle of wine.
YouTube help us. Cami locked us in her basement.
You know I'm just going to edit this out, Soda. Nobody's going to know. Stay in the wine cellar, my little bottles of wine.
And that's about it. There's just one last thing left.
Mm-hmm.
The practical. Come on, my little nouveau biche. I booked out a whole restaurant. They serve some of the best blue whale caviar here.
Blue
All right,
whale
you did it.
caviar?
You sat through the whole video without
I
crying.
did.
I think
I
this calls
did.
for a toast. Steady now. Whoop.
It's collateral damage. It's collateral damage. It's okay. It's collateral damage. How dare the wait staff stand in front?
Uh-oh. I can't believe you killed again.
It wasn't me, sir. It was you, sir. Sir. It was not me.
But it's okay. I feel like we're becoming close friends who can keep secrets and stuff.
Dude, don't be framing me.
And because we're such close friends, I'm going to keep teaching you things. That's right. You're going to be just like me. I just cannot tell which of this is blood and which wine. By the way, this is the second video. If you haven't seen the first one, which is on Fancy at the Theatre, go look at it over here. But there's also...
I'm pretty sure I've seen that one. Did I see the Fancy in the Theater one, chat? Do you remember watching that one?
Fancy, the Arts on Incognito, that's already live, and there's the next Incognito on its way. Do not forget story mode, do not forget Incogni, and do not forget to dream.
Do not forget to dream. That's a good one. Chat, don't forget to dream. No, you know what? I watched Fancy Oddities. I didn't see Fancy Theater. Oh shit. Oh shit.